Okay, this week we're going to be doing the slope of 2 points, but now instead of being given them on a graph, you guys are just going to be given the points. So you could end up with some really big points or really small points, but you don't need to draw them out on a graph because I'm going to show you how to do them without doing that. So we're going to do the slope of 2 points. So when we do this, we are given an x1 and a y1 and an x2 and a y2. These are just our 2 points. Those just stand for any 2 points in general, any numbers. When we do this, our equation that we're going to use is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the big thing that you have to notice on this is that your y's are on top and your x's are on bottom. So see those little lines I just drew? We're going to draw those every single time, and y's are always going to be on top and x's are always going to be on bottom. When you guys do this, this is going to be the same thing as y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. But if you notice, the 1's either go first on both of them or the 2's go first on both of them. So if I work this direction, I need to work that direction on both of them. If I work the other direction, I need to work the other direction on both of them. So let's try this out with 2 points. So we're going to use negative 20 and 1 and 15 negative 9. So when we do this, y's are going to be on top and x's are going to be on bottom. So I'm going to work this way. I'm just going to work left to right because it's easier to read it. So I'm going to have 1 minus 9. Those are my two y's. And remember it's minus, so it's actually minus negative 9. And then it's over, and I worked from left to right on the top, so I have to work from left to right on the bottom. I'm going to have negative 15, negative 20, minus 15. So this is the same thing as a big plus sign. So we'd have 10 over negative 35. And we can simplify that. 5 goes into 10 twice, and 5 goes into 35 7 times. So it's negative 2/7. That would be our slope. Let's try another one. Okay, we have 17, 12, and 13, 12. So y's go on top. I'm going to work from left to right. So I have 12 minus 12. And then x's go on bottom. I'm going to work left to right again. We have to be consistent. So 17 minus 13. And we get 0 divided by 4, which is just 0. So this is just a flat line. It's just a horizontal line. Okay, now we're going to use 10, negative 11, and 10, 14. Y's go on top, and x's go on bottom. And I'm just going to work from left to right again. So I'm going to have negative 11 minus 14. Remember that this is always minus between here. If I had negative 14, I'd have minus a negative 14. Then I need to work left to right again. I'm going to have 10 minus 10. So here we would get negative 11 minus 14 is negative 25. 10 minus 10 is 0, and remember we can't ever divide by 0, so just like our other problems, if we divide by 0, we say the slope is undefined. So when you divide by 0, you can't do that. It's going to give you an error if you try to do that on your calculator. It's always going to be undefined slope. Okay, so our y's are on top, our x's are on bottom. Let's just, for the heck of it this time, work from right to left, because we can do that. We just have to stay consistent. So we're going to have 10 minus -9, and then I have to work from right to left again if I worked from right to left the first time. So I'm going to have -1 minus -7. Okay, when I go to simplify this, remember 2 negatives make a positive. So I have 10 plus 9, which is 19, over -1 plus 7, which is going to give me 6. And that is our simplified version. We can't simplify that any further. Okay, this is the last one we're going to do, so this is a super short video for you guys this week. This should be super easy for you to get through all of this stuff. So let's do y's on top again, x's on bottom, and I'm going to work from left to right this time. That gives me 5 minus -10, work from left to right again, and that gives me 11 minus -6. These double negatives turn into positives. So we have 15 on the top and 17 on the bottom. And that's our final answer. When you guys are doing this, the biggest thing you have to remember is y is always on the top. That's the biggest mistake that I see with these, and I still see algebra kids make this mistake of putting x's on the top. If you do that, it will be wrong every single time. So y is always on the top. When I drew these arrows in up here on the top and the bottom, or these little lines, I would do that every time, because if you do that, you're probably going to be way less likely to make a mistake. The other thing that you have to remember is always work in the same direction. So if I want to go from left to right, I can do that, but I have to do that every single time. So that's okay, but if I work from left to right with my y's and then right to left with my x's, I can't do that. You have to work the same direction. So if you want to work left to right, you can totally do that. If you want to work right to left, you can totally do that. But you cannot work from left to right on your y's and right to left on your x's. It doesn't work that way. So you just have to be consistent. A big thing you guys need to watch is your negative signs on this. When you do this, your equation is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if you are plugging in a -5 for y1, that's going to change to a +5 because you have these two negatives. It's a double negative in a row. So you have to make sure you watch your signs and make sure you're plugging in the number that's actually there. This is it, you guys. This is actually problems 11 through 15 from your homework. So I just did the last 5 problems from your homework for you guys. So you only have 10 problems on your homework to do, and then you have your quiz. I think I set the mastery level pretty high on your quiz for this week because this is pretty easy. You guys should be able to get this pretty quick. If you have questions though, make sure you ask questions because that might just be a little piece that you're missing and you just need some info. So make sure you ask me questions because your mastery level is high for your quiz this week.